Hi everyone, I'm Tom.
I'm George.
You're listening to our new radio show, All Messed Up. Hope you enjoy it. To kick stuff off, we're going to play a little track called Sum 41 and Fatlip. Enjoy.
You know when. Don't count on me, I'll do it again. Don't count on me, it's the point you're missing. Don't count on me, 'cause I'm not listening. No good is law, middle class right. And I don't give about nothing. Be sitting on the corner talking all like a puppet. But you don't make such a roll of cash, you need more. 'Cause if the egg don't stay, you'll be ringing off the hook. You're on the head, what in the telephone book? Bullshit. Drinking proportion. The dentist in my mom should have had an abortion. I don't want to waste my time. Become another casualty of society. I'll never fall in line. Become another victim of your conformity. Back down. Casualty of society. Waste my time. Victim of your conformity. Back down.
Okay, that was Sum 41 and Fatlip. Awesome track.
It is.
So, first we're going to talk a bit about our week. And basically, since this is the first episode, I thought I'd maybe just explain. I'd been sort of toying with the idea of doing internet radio for a while, but I didn't really know how to go about it. But I figured if I just made and got someone to record, co-host with me, so we've got George.
Yo.
I figured we could just put it on SoundCloud and YouTube and stuff, and maybe people would have a listen. So here goes nothing, really.
That's what we hope.
Yeah. As for my week, not done an awful lot working, but yesterday I went to a gymnastics club, which is something I didn't ever think I was going to end up doing.
Woman.
Actually, yeah, I do feel a bit emasculated.
Yes.
But
with your handwriting as well.
yeah, let's not get into my handwriting as well.
Why not?
You know, I don't want to shoot my reputation down on the first episode. We'll do it gradually.
Okay.
But yeah, basically what happened is I went there. I turned up. There was all these. It was just no boys in there at all. I went there with a lad called Zach, who wanted to go as well. We both turned up, and it was just full of girls. And this instructor came over to us. She said, "Right, what are you wanting to learn while you're here?" And we both gave a pretty generic boy answer. Oh, we want to learn how to do a backflip. Apparently, it's not actually called a backflip. What we were talking about is a backwards somersault. A backflip is where you put your hands on the floor as you flip over, I'm told.
Wow.
But they were really good instructors, and by the end of it, I could I was backflipping into the foam pit.
No, you went backflipping.
I was. Oh, sorry. No, I was backward somersaulting into the foam pit. Yeah, I'll get it right. And I could also backward somersault on a trampoline, almost from standing, which I didn't get on video, but I did do a couple just from like standing and not really jumping, which I was pretty pleased with. So that was my week. George is holding a Subway card in my face, which he seems to be excited about.
I do.
So what's the story behind the Subway card?
I went and got a Subway and asked for a sub card.
Oh, that's simple.
Yeah.
I don't know how many points I've got on mine at the moment. I think I've definitely got enough for a free 6-inch sub, but I'm aiming for the foot long because I've never saved up enough points to get a foot long sub before, and I figured, why not?
That's your goal.
That's my goal.
That is your goal. So my week.
Your week.
Right. I have no life. Not much of a job. I might as well just, sleep. No. So what have I done?
Constantly sleep.
Yeah, I could constantly sleep. It'd be quite nice. It would be quite nice to constantly sleep. So, I did do some work on Monday and Tuesday.
That's good.
I did do some work.
What did you do?
Window cleaning. Yep.
How'd it go?
I didn't fall off.
Oh,
Any ladders?
Good. That's a
Good
bonus.
start. Good start.
Can we talk a bit about your phone? Which you were mentioning to me during Sum 41 just then, but I feel like we should put that as part of the story of this week.
My phone. What's to mention about it?
The fact that it's massively expensive for starters. Well,
When I had it, I had a job.
this is true. This is true. George could just about afford it when he did get it. Let's say what make and model it is, just so people get an idea of why.
So I've got the Samsung Galaxy S4.
Yeah, which is a very nice phone.
It's a very nice phone. Yeah. Get it. I'll get it if you
But-
can afford it.
But
It costs £42 a month if you don't go over on your data.
if you don't go over on your 1 gigabyte of data, which George managed to do, doing what?
Films are really good.
Yeah.
So,
How long was the film you watched, by the way?
well, there was Troy.
Oh, there's more than one. You watched Troy and... Well, clearly something else. Moving swiftly past that point, George has gone massively over on his internet allowance because of watching films on 3G.
Yes.
And I was pointing out that when O2 get 4G, which is the best thing ever in my opinion, it's going to kill him because he's going to have no money.
I have no money anyway.
You're going to have like minus
10 billion.
you're just going to be in so much debt because not because it uses up more data, but because it works so quickly and efficiently, you kind of lose track of how much time you've actually been using it. But yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm looking forward to
the
it.
nature of the beast, I suppose.
The nature of the... Not heard that one before.
No?
No.
Oh, I like that saying. It's one of my favourites.
Okay, nature of the beast.
However, let's move on to our next song. This is one of my picks. This is it's quite an old track now. In comparison,
when did it come out?
It came out either late 90s or early 2000s. I think early 2000s. But this is Alive, and it's by Payable on Death or P.O.D. Hope you enjoy.
He's a
it.
goth.
I'm not a goth. It's an
He is a
awesome
goth.
song. It's just new metal. Anyway, here it comes.
Every day is a new day. I'm thankful for every breath I take. I won't take it for granted. So I learn from my mistakes. It's beyond my control, so just let go. Whatever happens in this lifetime,
Okay, there we go. That was P.O.D. and Alive. Not as gothy as you would think.
No.
With the name Payable on Death.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
I did forget to mention one thing about my week.
Oh, go on then. Go on,
I've
quick.
not been sleeping very good.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is something
Bothering me.
bothering you?
No, not that I can think of. Off the top of my head.
Alright.
No, but, I just thought I'd mention it. Get a bit of sympathy from people.
Okay, well...
Hopefully.
If you're watching this on YouTube, or I'm pretty sure you can comment on SoundCloud as well, if I remember rightly, or Facebook, please give some love to George, because he needs it and he's not feeling very well. So, but before he gets too upset, they're there. Let's move on to the news stories. This is our next section. We're going to talk about just general, I suppose, pop culture news stories, or just things we find on the internet, random stuff. And the thing I wanted to talk about is the madness of Miley Cyrus.
Mrs. Miley Cyrus.
Which I just cannot understand, from how she's gone from like a little Disney princess to, the last few months into this rebellious
twerk.
kind of kind of raunchy young adult. And I've been trying to get my head around it. And I actually, the way I first heard about it is that one of my workmates came into work and said, "Oh, have you seen this Miley Cyrus twerk thing?" I was like, "No, I don't even know what twerk means." And apparently, what it is, twerk seems to mean like a movement that you probably see on a lot of R&B videos where you get the rapper and there's got a load of girls and they're all lined up, kind of shaking their stuff in a very conspicuous way, and that seems to be what Miley Cyrus has decided to do.
I tell you what.
What?
If you watch it on YouTube, I think Tom might put a video of a demonstration of a twerk up, might you?
That's not going to happen.
Is it not?
No. I'm sorry.
Not even from
sorry to
people.
disappoint, but you'll have to put up with my incredibly vague description of the word. But if I was going to say anything, I'd say, I too was born on the 23rd of November in 1992. So me and Miley Cyrus are the exact same age, down to the day. And I understand the needs of wanting to be viewed as a grown-up, as an adult of sorts, but personally, I don't think twerking is the way to do that. But anyway, I've got like 15 points here about her sort of going crazy. And we'll move on to number 14. She is famous now because of all this behaviour. Teaming up with Justin Bieber, not something I support in any way.
I very much dislike Justin Bieber.
I dislike him.
Very much dislike
hats off to him. He is a great performer. He's a very talented musician. I just don't like him. But he's Justin Bieber, and
I don't like him.
I think he's spoilt, personally.
And I don't like him.
George doesn't like him at all.
I don't like Justin Bieber.
We both have younger sisters, that are obsessed with him, and thank goodness for All Time Low, because we've managed to sort of swing them onto that. They seem to be like a good platform into rock music from pop. If people like Justin Bieber, introduce them to All Time Low.
Introduce them to Tonight Alive.
And Tonight Alive, that's another good one. Anything that's pop punk, really.
Yeah.
But we found All Time Low seems to work pretty well.
It does.
It does. That will bridge them from the insanity into a world of rock and roll
and freedom.
So give that a go. I'm going through these Miley Cyrus points, but it's not bringing up the things that I was thinking of. Apart from the drugs, really drugs. That's very grown up. I think the thing that's really going through my mind regarding this is that not only has she brought out this new song, We Can't Stop, with all the twerking in the video that
new look.
I never want to see again.
It's a new look.
Yeah, the hair's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to say it suits her or whether I don't like it. I'm not sure.
It's kind of Jedward-y.
It is a little Jedward-y, isn't it? Especially in this picture.
Yeah.
She's also done a rap. Yeah, I'm just not really sure what all this weirdness is about right now. No. I don't really think it shows someone that's maturing.
Perhaps she's having a phase of, pardon me, craziness.
Well, yeah, I would have said something not dissimilar to a midlife crisis, except she's 20,
Yes.
going on 21.
Now I have a question for you.
Go on then.
What would you say about someone that steals an honesty box from a village?
This is George's pick for a news story. We actually we looked this up in the middle of Fatlip while Fatlip was playing, and we both burst out laughing because it was just so weird.
So the title: Village honesty box theft caught on camera. A thief has been ordered to pay £25. That's a fortune. That is.
£25.
That could, yeah.
That could cripple you. Well, if it was George, it could cripple you.
Cripple me. It would
It would
cripple
cripple
me.
George.
And has been given a 6-month community order after he was caught on camera stealing money and goods from a village honesty box. Goods as well. What's wrong with him? Now, what's his name, Tom?
He's from Wales, so he's got a surname that's not something I'm used to pronouncing.
Wales.
He's from Wales.
Down in the valley.
I'm not. I'm not going to start trying to do that accent because I can't do it.
I can't really.
Paul Bujega, I think. Bujega.
Where's he
Oh no,
from?
that's Kujiga, isn't it?
That's Kajika.
I can't even quote cars. It was nearly there.
Almost.
Who is 37 years old. You wouldn't have thought he'd need 25 quid from an honesty box, but there you go.
So this is how it happened. He drove up in his car, got out
To
steal some fizzy drinks and an
Steal-
honesty box containing around £25 in cash. Do you know what? I think that's the new meaning of daylight robbery.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Who cares about windows anymore?
I'm just... I don't understand why you would purposefully attempt to steal fizzy drinks unless you were 12 years old. This guy's 37. Not that you should steal. That's not what I meant.
Are you encouraging?
No,
Steal?
not at all. It just seems a little odd to me that this guy has gone through all this effort to steal something from an honesty box. Just the whole nature of it is just ironic.
And there is one quote from a Mr. Button. Okay.
Yes.
And he is the, I believe that he is the owner or the person that runs the honesty box. And he said, "I call the honesty box Happy Days because it is a reminder of how things used to be in the countryside." Well, I think things are changing.
Yeah, it seems like they are.
Yeah.
Honesty
beware.
is no longer enough.
Beware. If you have an honesty box, I would hire someone to,
to
protect
look
it.
after it and make sure that they're an honest
person.
Yeah, because
They might
otherwise,
try and nick it.
what's the point? Well, there'll just be more ironic news stories for us to laugh about. Sorry about the constant beeping. I'm actually recording this off my phone because that's how low budget we are.
Would you like to know what our budget is?
0. Nothing. Well, unless you count the £10 a month from Spotify, that's very helpful.
Yes.
Next track that we're going to play for you is a band that I've only started listening to in the last 3 months or so, and I think it's awesome.
Goth.
They're not goth. You like them as well.
Shh.
They're called Pierce the Veil, and this is called Tangled in the Great Escape. Enjoy.
Would you say that had a part of that? I guess we'll never
Hello and welcome back to All Messed Up. That was Pierce the Veil and Tangled in the Great Escape. For our next section, we've got a load of these books that I was lent by my uncle called World's Stupidest, whatever. And we've got signs. Well, we've got 2 books on signs, newspaper headlines, instructions on stuff. So we were going to look through a few of these, and if you can personally think of any good ones, then feel free to put them in the comments box on however you're watching this. Oh dear. I don't know how many of these we can actually read.
No. Okay, so...
But let's start off at the start.
To make it even more interesting, I think you've got to read it in an accent.
I'm just looking at all of these, though. I don't know how controversial they are.
Okay.
These are not coming from us. These are coming from a published book. So if you have any complaints, please contact... where's the author? Please contact Michael O'Mara Humour, which seems to be an organisation that make these books. So yeah, any complaints? Okay. It's www.mombooks.com, and yeah, knock yourself out moaning to them, but we don't want to hear it because we didn't come up with these.
Or not?
No. We've already said where it is.
We have.
So, without further ado, here's one. Here's one headline. I don't know when this is from. It basically says Queen Mary having bottom scraped, which I imagine is perhaps some sort of monument in London to a Queen Mary.
Okay.
That was being altered. I don't know, or cleaned.
Or cleaned. I'm sure it wasn't a.
But that involved having her bottom scraped.
Or its.
Top surgeon is to head new body in medical ethics. It'll be interesting to see how that one works out.
It would be.
What else have we got? A lot of these involve nudity and body parts.
They do.
Double hand transplant patient applauds operation. Oh dear.
Doctor testifies in horsesuit. That one's...
Now, I can understand what that means for once. Some of the other ones I'm reading here, I'm thinking, I'm not sure how else you could take that. But, yeah, interesting. There was a lawsuit involving a horse, and the doctor testified in a horse suit. I can't read that other one. Crematorium plans put... let's read that again. Crematorium plans put on back burner. Fantastic. Good bit of dark humour there. Lesotho women make great carpets. What do? We just lie a load of them on the floor and just start walking on them? Do we skin them first? Juvenile court to try shooting defendant. See, I'm not sure how else you could take that headline, because where else would you put the emphasis? That just sounds like they shot him. I've got to stop laughing at ones I'm not reading.
Yeah, I know.
Hospitals are sued by 7-foot doctors. Again, how else do you take that?
Exactly.
Gunproof chief shot. So clearly he wasn't gunproof.
No.
That's just false advertising. False charge of theft of hens. Police on wild goose chase. Those are two. That one isn't that funny. That's just birds. Crash courses for private pilots.
So
I like it. That's good advertising. Oh, we could do world's stupidest signs as well.
So to start us off on this one, this is a sign on a Korean kitchen knife.
And it says, "Please keep out of children."
It would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yes.
We don't want knives in little children.
It's not very nice.
Not really. This was a sign in a London department store, bargain basement upstairs.
That's just...
It's a whole new definition to the word basement. A lot of these are actually, due to poor English, okay, I have to read that one, even though it's just disgusting. This was an ad for an American reflexology center, and the advertisement says, or if you're American, the advertisement says, "We unblock your constipation with our fingers."
Oh dear.
Okay. All right. Enough laughing at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely down my street for sense of humour.
Yeah.
With our fingers.
Oh dearie me.
Well, you can't help but admire those who work with their hands.
No.
In a safari park, elephants, please stay in your car. Interesting.
Didn't know elephants could drive.
No, I was just thinking that. I didn't think elephants could drive either. I must go see some of these driving elephants. On a packet, rather, of supermarkets' own brand peanuts. And this is the notice on that. Warning, contains nuts. Really?
That's got to be from somewhere like...
No way.
Lidl.
It must have been from Lidl. No other supermarket would write that.
No.
Or maybe they have to now because of health and safety.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
very true.
Because there are people apparently out there these days that will go into a supermarket, pick up a packet of peanuts, buy them, and think that they are not actually nuts.
Because they want money.
The people that do that are nuts, but apparently people are that stupid these days. We'll do one more, and then we'll play the next song, I think, because I feel like this section could go on forever.
We could.
Okay.
We go on.
Let's go with
go
one
for one.
from the world's stupidest instructions to finish off.
Just for that one.
On a bathroom heater, this product is not to be used in bathrooms. Wow.
That's
Oh, hang on. And just this one. On a can of pepper spray used for self-defense in the United States of America, may irritate eyes. Really? Well, what's it used for? I thought you were supposed to spray it on your hand or something.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Sarcasm, dude.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll move on to the next song. Again, this is one I picked. It's by a British band who are monstrously heavy, called Bring Me the Horizon, and this song's called Sleepwalking. You're listening to All Messed Up.
My secrets are burning all from my heart and my bones catch a fever. When it cuts you off this deep, it's hard to find a way to
We're back. Hope you enjoyed that. That was Bring Me the Horizon and Sleepwalking. Actually, believe it or not, one of the softer ones off the new album. Not the softest, but one of the softest, definitely. And apart from that, our next section was basically just going to revolve around entertainment. So films, music, games.
Yeah, see what we've got.
Now, first up for films, we can see two ones that stood out recently. The first one we're going to talk about is a film called Now You See Me.
Yep.
With, let me think of the actors that were in it. We had Mark Ruffalo, Isla Fisher, Jesse Eisenberg, and James Franco's brother. What's his name?
I
feel awful now because I remembered all the other ones.
I can't remember his
Maybe,
name.
if you're listening, James Franco's brother, I'm really sorry.
I don't really think he's going to be listening.
You never
Hope
know.
he is.
You never know. That would be cool, wouldn't
It
it?
would, wouldn't it? We could get him to guest appear for us.
You could. I'm now Googling him.
Dave.
Is that him? Is it? It is.
It is James.
No, it's not James Franco. It's
Is
Dave.
it not?
It's definitely this guy.
Yeah, it's Dave.
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco.
Hi, Dave.
Sorry
for forgetting your name. We love you. You get the "we love you" sentence because
Tom loves you.
it's a platonic love. Don't worry. Just because I feel bad about forgetting your name, but you were very good in that film.
He was very good.
Anyway, our opinion on this film. What did you make of it, George?
I thought I like films that make you think.
Yes.
If you
always...
understand my gist, and it did make me think a little bit, and it was think about the plot that is not about life, you know.
Yeah, I think
that's too serious.
It wasn't boring, was it?
No, I wouldn't give it a 5-star though.
No, I think the 5-star is too liberal these
It
days.
is.
People just give it out for anything. I mean, for example, another one that was given 5-star recently was Jack the Giant Slayer. You know, enjoyable. You know,
4 point.
I'd maybe give it 3.5 to 4 stars because I did enjoy it, but 5-star, no. You know, you got to come up with a masterpiece for that.
Yeah. Something like Star Wars.
Yeah, come on. I mean, the original Star Wars Sega. 5 stars all the way, because that's just epic. And the same with Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Awesome films. But, you know, it's hard. You see, I'd have to be honest, and I wouldn't give it a 5. I wouldn't give Wayne's World a 5-star. It has 5 stars in my heart, but I know that technically it's not a particularly brilliant film.
It's not.
Even if it is awesome. Sorry, even if it is excellent. Anyway, my opinion on this film was that Now You See Me was... I again would give it 4-star, and I would get close to 5-star, but the reason I wouldn't give it a 5-star is because I felt that the magic in it, whereas it was pretty realistic for the most part, whenever they did any of the big illusions, there was stuff in it like there was one part where this ribbon just unexplained ribbon flies around the stage and reveals this machine in the middle. with nothing on it, and you think that's just not realistic. No one does that in magic shows. Nothing that I've seen anyway. You know, it looks like CGI. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
And the same with Isla Fisher floating off in the bubble. Visually pretty stunning.
But not realistic.
Let me rephrase that. You know,
You would say that.
it was a good special effect, but it doesn't happen. It's not a magic trick. That's just fictional, made up. And I think if they'd have just held back on that just a little bit and just kept it all, you know, like realistic illusions, I think that would have been cool. I mean, David Copperfield didn't float off in a bubble. He was just on wires. Anyway, the next film that we saw was Monsters University, which we saw, was it last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on? We'll start with you again. What were your thoughts?
I thought I really like Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
so
same. It's brilliant.
If they're bringing out a film it's a prequel, so
yeah, but any secondary film to a film that's already loved, it's got to live up to its name.
It has. I think for me it almost lived up to its name.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Monsters Inc. is better in my opinion.
I
But
agree.
then again, if Monsters University came out first and then Monsters Inc. came out, would we view Monsters University as being better?
Yeah, this is a good question. I think that I still would think Monsters Inc. is better, which I think possibly would have made the entire thing even better if it had have come out that way around, because Monsters University, by all rights, was a pretty good film. It, you know, it had its funny moments. It definitely didn't ruin Monsters Inc. at all, like some sequels or prequels do. For example, what's something that was good and then a rubbish sequel came out? There's got to be some, hasn't there?
This is what I hope they don't do with Star Wars. Let's get off the topic a little bit here, but
yeah, but that's a good thing to talk about. The new Star Wars films that are allegedly coming out soon.
I better not ruin it.
Yeah, because at least with the fact that the recent trilogy was a trilogy of prequels, they weren't as good as the original ones.
No.
They were okay in places, like the special effects and the lightsaber fights. That was cool. They didn't have the same, you know, characters and strength of character that the original trilogy did, though, and that kind of ruined them a bit. But because it's a prequel, it doesn't quite damage those characters so much. No. Whereas I feel if they brought back, say, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher.
See, they said that Harrison Ford's going to be in it.
Yeah, they've said, I think all three of them have expressed interest in being in them. But if they bring them back and then the film's done in such a way that it ruins those characters, it's just going to be awful.
And you're never going to view them the same.
Yeah, and it to some extent, it's going to ruin the original trilogy a little bit. As has all the video editing, like putting the new Anakin in place of the old Anakin.
Yeah.
What's the point? There's no point to that at all.
Because,
Obi-Wan didn't turn into Ewan McGregor, as I recall.
No, don't think so.
He didn't, did he?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. Anyway, but
I'm going to watch that later.
yeah, we're going to have to check. But
then again, it has worked before, like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Yeah, I would say that's a... Now, there's people that disagree with that, I think, because I heard some people express sort of an opinion that they thought that The Hobbit was a bit too much involved with, like, fighting goblins and not enough storyline, but I personally enjoyed it. But I've read the book, so I knew that was how it went. You knew what to expect.
But anyway, back to Monsters University.
Yes, before we stray too much off topic.
I liked how they portrayed what's his face?
Randall.
I did quite like that, and it not for ruining it for anyone that's not seen it. It does tell you how, like, the friendships came about and enemies.
It does. It really does sum that up pretty well. How the relationships between all the characters that you see in the Monsters Inc. film, how they sort of develop. And
between Mike and Sully, especially.
but especially between Mike and Sully, because you probably wouldn't expect it. I don't think this is really much of a spoiler for the film, but when Mike and Sully first meet each other in Monsters University, they absolutely hate each other. But it's quite good seeing how they sort of learn to respect one another and become friends, and it's funny. It's a funny film.
It is
sort of going through all that. But I think that's something it did very right in that it focused on the characters rather than just on slapstick comic cartoon humour.
But it did have the comic side to it.
It did, but it didn't just bombard you
No.
with it all. It focused on two areas, and I think it was a good film.
It was worked, yeah. It was very good.
So
watch it, I would say.
what would you... So scores for these two films, I would give...
Out of 5 or 10?
Let's give it out of 10. That's so much more accurate, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd say for Now You See Me, my personal score would be 8.
Okay, my personal score would be 7.8.
Oh, he's being specific. Okay. And for Monsters University, I'm going to say 7. And I don't mean that because I thought it was a bad film. I think it was a very good film, but I think 7.
I think in some ways it's only when
it's a kids' cartoon,
it can only get so good.
It can only get so good. I mean, the likes of Up, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a strong 9 for me.
Yeah.
But it's hard to push a cartoon up to that level. So yeah, for me it's 7. What about you?
I'll give it more than a 7.
Would you?
I would. I'll give it a 7.9.
7.9. Not quite an 8.
Not quite an 8.
Not quite an 8.
But it is a good, strong 7.
Yeah.
So maybe, 7.9, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, next section, we're going to discuss games. Now, I'm the main gamer, I would say. I play video games an awful lot, probably too much.
He doesn't have a life, that's why.
Yeah, I'm pretty sad in that area. But 2 recent games that I've been playing, one of which is off Xbox Live, which I'm going to start with, called Tale of Two Brothers. I think that's what it's called anyway. But it's fantastic. It's set in this world that's sort of like a... If you've ever played Jak and Daxter, you'd probably know what I meant when I said it was like a fantasy world with dramatic landscapes and weird little towns in places and stuff that you wander around in, and it's really good in it. I think the point of it is that these 2 lads, there's an older brother and a younger brother, and their mums died in some accident, like in a boat with the little brother with her, and he survived, and as a result he's got like a fear of water and stuff. The older brother isn't really seen until this point, but when you start the game he runs up to his brother. They all speak in a language that you can't understand. There's no subtitles, so sometimes that can be a little disconcerting. But basically their dad's ill, and this old man in the village is like gives them this map. I don't know what language it is, so I can't be accused of being racist. It's probably made up for all I know.
Yeah.
But he gives them this map, and you basically have to take these 2 little lads, and they have to run off into the wilds and make their way across villages, and they climb up stuff, and they have to make their way around fantasy creatures and through old ruins and do puzzles and stuff, and it's just an awesome game because it's not just I like racing games, and I like a game where you like a sci-fi game where it's like all laser guns and stuff, but sometimes you want something that tests your brain a bit, and this definitely does that.
Yeah.
And what's especially unique and kind of challenging about the game is that you control both characters with one controller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have one joystick is one brother and one joystick is the other. Yeah, you have to kind of steer the both of them individually, and it's kind of like you're having to think for 2 different things at once. So it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's a fun game. It's not too complicated. Apart from that, you just have to work things out. And yeah, I'd say if you want to go get it, I don't think it's too expensive. I bought it for 1,200 Microsoft points, which apparently they're doing away with now. So I don't know how much it is in real money, but it's definitely something you should consider buying.
If anyone knows how much that is in real money,
yeah, please do put it in the comments box. But yeah, I would say that it's definitely worth getting. So check that out. The other game I wanted to mention is a PC game that's been around for a while now, but
it's brilliant.
I think it's fantastic. Very simple, but incredibly scary, and that is Slender. Now, I'm not talking about the new version, Slender, and the 8. What's it called? There's a new one. the new one that you pay for. I'm not talking about that one, Slender the Arrival. That's it. Not talking about that one. I'm talking about the free version, Slender the 8 Pages, the original version that came out. Because for two reasons. One, I didn't really want to have to pay for it, even though I did end up buying it. And two, after I bought it, I realised that my laptop did not have the specs to run said game. So I've not really had a chance to play it because it's like watching a picture slideshow and you can't control anything because it's just so steppy.
But apart from that,
Slender the 8 Pages. If you've never played this game, but you like having like a mess around with your mates, like maybe scaring each other or something like that, this is a great game because the premise is that you're going off into the woods with a torch, and for whatever reason, you have to pick up and find 8 pieces of paper, each of which have like scrawled messages on them, like "It's coming for you," and don't look at it for too long and it takes you, or you know, stuff like that, and just little sketches of like this
it's Run one.
Weird, yeah, one of them's Run, yeah. This like weird humanoid figure with long arms and a white face, called the Slender Man. And basically, as you collect these notes, as soon as you pick up the first one, or if you just go for ages without finding anything, you hear in the background these drums start, like a doom, doom, and you know, you're thinking, okay, that's a bit creepy because you know, you're in the dark with a torch, you're on your own,
and the torch can run out of battery.
The torch does run out of battery if you don't turn it off every once in a while. You know, you got to savor it. And also the character in the game, I believe it's a girl, but she has no stamina whatsoever. You can only run for about, I'd say, maybe 100 yards before she's absolutely killing herself panting.
I thought it was a guy.
No, it was a girl. I don't know. You can't see it. It's in first person again. But you have to really plan your routes and go carefully, because every so often you'll be wandering around and there's this scary music playing and drum beats, and you'll turn around and that thing, the Slender Man, is just there. He's just stood, and it's like, ding! And the amount of times I've just absolutely scared myself silly, from like jumped out my skin and you know, dropped what I was holding, or about fell off my chair, you know, stuff like that, because it seems really simple, but it's really surprising, and it's a scary game.
It is.
George has played it. What do you
fun.
make of it, George?
At first, you start playing it, and then you kind of, I don't know, think I don't really want to play this, actually.
No, I actually turned it off the first 2-3 times I started playing it because I was that terrified of it. I'm a wuss, but
no, but if you stick at it, it is good. The only thing that I find is, though, after a while, it's not that it gets predictable, but you kind of know what's going to happen.
yeah, it does lose its scary effect.
It does. After you've played it, you know, half a dozen times.
That said, if you play on your own in a dark room with your headphones on and the volume turned up high, you're still going to get scared.
You're still going to get scared.
It is scary.
And there are some good, funny videos on YouTube.
Yeah, there's
of
plenty of
people
funny
playing
videos. One of my favourites is probably Bane Plays Slender. Because it's just fantastic. Right, I'm just going to grab something. Basically, the guy has figured out an ingenious way of making himself sound like Bane off Batman. And all that is that he puts an empty glass next to his mouth, and all of a sudden, "Hello there, Bane here." And you get the idea. You just sound slightly like Bane. "I was born in the dark, moulded by it." And it's very easy to do, but he sounds very similar to Bane.
Yeah, he does, actually.
He does. He's quite a convincing voice actor. But watching him play Slender and walking around all full of himself, and then started doing high-pitched screams when he starts singing, that is funny. That is comedy genius.
It is.
So yeah, I would say game scores, and I suppose I can only really rate the first one because George hasn't played it. But as A Tale of Two Brothers,
Again, out of 10.
Out of 10, so far I've not finished it. So far I'm going to give it an 8 because I think it's fantastic. 8.5. 8.5. Because I think it's a great game. Slender.
See, if it was me rating Slender, I'd give it 2 different ratings.
Yeah.
Because you start off, you would rate it higher because of how entertaining and
true,
good it is.
True.
say you've been playing it for a week, you play it every night you play it every night a couple of times.
Yeah.
The rating will go down for me. So I'll start off with giving it, I don't know, probably I'll probably give it an 8.
An 8.
An 8. But then you probably go down to about a 7.
So if we even that out,
About
we're looking
7.5.
at about 7.5, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it's a good game, and the great thing about Slender is, whereas it's absolutely terrifying, there's no blood, gore, swearing, anything,
Yeah.
you know, supernatural or anything like that about it. It's just tense and kind of frightening. So, technically speaking, it's perfectly fine for a small child to play.
Yeah.
But if you don't want them waking up in the night and wetting the bed and stuff like this,
Maybe it's not so good
if
for a
they're like
child to play.
if they're like 2-3 years old and you don't want to be, you know, constantly changing mattresses, I don't recommend a little kid playing it at all. But as far as, you know, the nature of the game, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's a good laugh if you want to freak yourself out.
Yeah.
If that's what you like to do. Moving on, let's talk about music quickly, and then we'll play another song. Gigs that we've been to recently. Back in was it January or February? February. We went to see All Time Low. Now, we've already mentioned these guys once because of their ability to save people from the Justin Bieber plague, as I'm going to call it. The epidemic that is Justin Bieber.
That should be a...
But yeah, we should make that into a wristband.
Yeah.
The epidemic that is Justin Bieber, or JB Plague. Hashtag JB Plague. That mean we have to tweet about it too. I don't think I can be bothered.
I don't have Twitter.
No, well, there we go. I'm not doing it all on my own. Scrap that idea. But anyway, this band has been one of my favourites for the past 5 years. I think they're a great band. And if you haven't checked it out, their new album, actually, Don't Panic. I just want to clarify this because they got good reception for it pretty much everywhere except Kerrang, who put it on par with Dirty Work, their album before that. Now, in my opinion, Dirty Work was a good album. It was all right.
Yeah.
I'd give it maybe 3 stars, which is good, which is what Kerrang gave it. So I thought, fair enough, they had a bit of a moan about it, but they gave it 3 stars. Enough said. However, Don't Panic is just a massive improvement on what they released the year in 2011. And Kerrang gave it the same amount of stars, 3 stars, and said that they hadn't changed one bit and that they still needed to go a long way to improve and that they hadn't found their sound. Totally disagree.
Yeah.
I think this album is absolutely fantastic. The live show we went to was phenomenal. Bearing in mind, I went to see them on their Dirty Work tour and
so did I.
Yeah, you did too.
Yeah.
And how would you rate the gig we went to for the Don't Panic tour compared to Dirty Work?
With the score?
Yeah, so if we give Dirty Work tour a score...
I'll give that out of 5, 3.5.
3.5. Whereas I would say my experience for the recent gig, I'd give it a 5-star.
Yeah, I would.
Because
Because
it was just so much fun. The jokes were great. The music was great.
Let alone the injuries.
Yeah, we basically we'd spent the whole time. Well, I had anyway, jumping up and down like a little fangirl, and like, "Yay, All Time Low!" When they came back on for the encore, and they played "Reckless and the Brave," "Weightless," and "Dear Maria" for their last 3 songs. I just thought, stuff it, we've got to go in the mosh pit.
So we did.
I was okay. I almost smashed my camera because it got ripped off my neck by some guy that was swinging his fists all over the place. And George got elbowed in the eye by some random person too. And when we got back on the train afterwards, his eye looked decidedly yellow. We thought it was going to swell up and he was going to have to walk around with a black eye.
It turned out okay though. Don't worry about me, guys.
Yeah, he was all right. He was fine in the end.
I was fine.
He escaped that horrible fate. But yeah, all in all, I'd give it a 5-star.
Definitely.
What did you say?
Yeah, 5 as well.
2 5s for the Dirty Work gig. And sorry, not Dirty Work
not
gig.
Dirty Work.
I would agree with a 3.5 for Dirty Work,
Yeah.
but we both say 5 stars for the Don't Panic tour.
Yeah, it was.
And pick up a copy of Don't Panic.
It's great.
It's an awesome album.
It is wicked.
Well worth your money. The next thing we've got on the list, Tonight Alive. This is a gig we're going to soon.
It is in October the
1st, October 1st.
and that is in a month and 2 weeks.
It is. I'm really looking forward to that. I've seen these guys once before last year.
So great, I couldn't go.
Yeah, George couldn't go at the time. That was
Ill.
yeah. Just he missed out there because it was literally the tiniest gig I've ever been to. It was in like a restaurant.
Was it the same place as we go?
But I say a restaurant. It's it's a different place.
Okay.
It was Leicester de Montfort University.
Yeah.
And in de Montfort University there is an O2 arena, an O2 venue. But at the back of this there's a bar called the Scholar Bar, and it's not very big at all. You know, you could probably get maybe less than 1,000 people in there for sure. And most of that area is for people sitting and having drinks. So in reality, the actual gig size was probably about 300-400 people tops. And Tonight Alive played there, and we were just stood on the front row. So we got front row standing position. You know,
How much was it?
It cost me £10, I think. I got whipped in the face by the microphone. We were that close.
And,
by the microphone lead.
One of our friends got extremely excited.
Yes. Shout out to Elliot. I'm sure he won't mind us mentioning.
Elliot Smith, that is.
Elliot Smith waited for Jenna, the lead singer, to put her hand out as she does sometimes while she's singing, and he leant forward and poked it. Didn't give her a high five.
And vowed never to wash that finger again.
Oh yes, he did. He said, didn't high five, poked it, and said he was never going to wash the finger again. That was funny.
Yeah.
The amount of excitement generated from that. He came away, I touched her, he says. And really did make us all laugh.
Then you got to meet them.
But yeah, well, we didn't meet all of them. Only Jenna came out after the show. But she was a really lovely girl. Nice to talk to. I hadn't really heard much of Tonight Alive at the time. I'd just gone along to the gig after hearing their cover of Little Lion Man. But that was an awesome gig.
Yeah.
And basically, this one we're going to soon, they've got a new album coming out called The Other Side.
It's not the tour for that, though, is it?
I think it will be out by then, yes. So
it's out September.
It's out September, so they will be playing stuff from
that. I thought the tour was for I can't think what it's called now. What East Coast is so scared of.
No, that was the one we went to.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah, this will be the tour for The Other Side.
Okay.
If I understand that correctly. But yeah, they'll be playing new tracks off that. There's 2 on Spotify at the moment. We don't have time for them this week. We might play them next week.
Yeah.
But those 2 tracks are The Ocean and Lonely Girl, which has just had a new music video brought out. They're an awesome band, so check them out, Tonight Alive. And we're going to finish off with one gig that George is going to soon, which is Fenech-Soler. Fenech-Soler, sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've not really heard of these guys before.
They are... I really do not know how to describe them. I guess the best way is just to play a song.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll wrap up with that then. This is Fenech-Soler and... What's the name of the song?
Fenech-Soler.
Fenech-Soler.
Golden Sun.
Golden Sun.
It is.
This is the band that George is going to see soon. Enjoy. Here it is, Golden Sun.
All I ever see, we never get a break. We've been working for days. I feel the heat
Messed Up. That was Fenech-Soler.
Fenech-Soler.
I'm never going to get that right.
Oh my days.
It's a weird spelling. And Golden Sun. Quite a catchy little dancey techno style number.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not really sure what genre I'd put that under, but it was kind of catchy. For our final segment to this show, we're going to ask you some questions. So whoever you are that might be listening to this, we've got 2 questions that we want to ask you for you to put in the comments box your answers, and we'll talk about it all next week and read out some of your responses. My question, which is decidedly more juvenile than George's question, is one of my favourite topics, actually, if I'm bored and I want to talk about something with someone, is... I don't think I should just admit to that being one of...
Just say it.
Okay, this is what I want to talk about, and it's, if you could have any superpower, what would it be, why?
Is it only one superpower?
Well, it could be...
You
could, if you're clever, you can collaborate that into 2, but you must have a justification for why 2 equal 1 power, if that makes any sense. You have to justify why you've got more than 1.
And my question to the people of the world would be, I like food. So does Tom.
Yeah, I love food too.
We're not fat though, so don't worry.
Not that that's a problem.
It is not a problem. There is nothing wrong with
There's nothing wrong with...
being larger.
Yes. Well put.
Yes. Everyone likes hugs off larger people, don't they?
Yeah. Let's just move on from...
My apologies. Okay, so what is a weird combination of food that works? So it can be anything, like, this probably doesn't work, but avocado and chocolate, I don't know.
That could work.
It could work.
I've never tried it, so
No.
I don't know. I'd say melted chocolate, though. That sounds like something you could get in a weird fondue type thing. So is fondue cheese? I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, you know the thing, the thing I mean, where you have like a chocolate fountain, you dip stuff in hot chocolate. That's what I meant, not fondue, which is hot cheese.
Yeah. So anything that is a weird combination of foods that works, don't please let it work, because we don't want to try it and it be
Are we trying
horrible.
it, are we?
We are.
Oh,
so it can't be
okay,
expensive either.
This is news to me. Okay, we might try some of your suggestions if we feel they're not too revolting.
Or expensive.
Yeah. But we'll give them a go, and we'll tell you our thoughts. We might even record part of the show whilst we're eating them. That could be fun.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, if you're going to comment, we try and keep things clean on this show. So whoever you are, if you're going to comment, please don't put anything disgusting or rude or use foul language, because we're just not going to read it out. So yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. Have fun, and for our final song to play you out, we're going to have Let It Land by Tonight Alive. You've been listening to All Messed Up. I'm Tom.
And I'm George.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Does anyone know it all, where they're trying to go? And what if I don't care at all, 'cause I don't mind letting it go? No, 'cause everything we know is just something we're taught, and everything we hate is just something we bought along the line. And every time